Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we are doing a battle of the bronzers. I have in front of me 17 powder bronzers. I have been testing them over the last several months. I have compiled my thoughts. We're going to try them all on today, and I am going to tell you what I think are the best luxury bronzers. Before we get into the bronzer review, I just want to let you know how I structured this. We're going to cut to me with a full face of makeup, but nothing on the cheeks. No bronzer, no blush. I am going to apply every single one of these bronzers to one side of my face. I'm going to leave the other side completely blank. We'll chat a little bit about it, and then I'm going to remove my makeup, reapply my foundation and powder, and move on to the next one. I'm going to do that 17 times so you can see every one of these bronzers on the face in real time, not real time, but like, not B-roll. So you will be able to see all of these on the skin and how they look on my 51-year-old face. Oh, how they look on my 52-year-old face. I'm 52 now. I keep forgetting. So let's just get into the video and get into this bronzer roundup. Let's get into this powder bronzer bonanza. I think for this we'll go in terms of price since it is luxury bronzers. I do have a couple, in fact, the first two that are going to be the least expensive are not luxury, but I do want to include them because they are newer bronzers on the market and they are powder bronzers. We are going to start with the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Blurring Bronzer. This is $38 for 0.25 ounces. It comes in 6 shades. This is a very light, blurring, smoothing, neutral tone bronzer. The tone on this one is absolutely gorgeous. The powder is a very soft, velvety. It does feel quite creamy between the fingers. It's very lightweight. It glides effortlessly over the skin. It is incredibly blurring. Very easy to wear. This is probably one of the more easy to wear bronzers in this lineup. I credit a lot of that to the shade. It's such an easy, versatile shade to wear. This is the shade Light. It is the lightest shade. It is quite a neutral bronze, meaning it's not super warm, super peachy, super pink. It's like, just a beautiful neutral shade. It lasts very well. I really love this bronzer, and I think for the price, it's hard to beat. Next up is another bronzer that is, again, not luxury. It is a powder bronzer, and it is a new release, so I want to include it. That is the Anastasia Smooth Blur Matte Bronzing Powder. This is $38 for 0.35 ounces. This one comes in 7 shades. I have the lightest shade. It is called Sun Kissed Dreams. This is also a very blurring bronzer. That is the Anastasia on the face. This is another beautiful bronzer. Before this bronzer release, the promo photos made them look like contours, like they were very gray, very cool. That's not how they look in person. However, they're not super warm either. In fact, to me, looking at it in the pan, it almost has a hint of like a rosy shade. There it is next to the Mario. So the Mario is, I would say, more neutral by comparison. This almost looks like, to me, I'm detecting just a hint of pink in there, just a hint. Like, it's not a super warm orangey bronzer, a touch rosy, just a touch. And I think it's beautiful. Feeling the texture on my fingers, it feels like a very creamy powder, similar to the Mario. It's interesting because they came out at the same time. They are the same price. I would say just, if you're interested in one or the other of these, I would go with the one that has the shade that you prefer. I wish that the release had gone off better because I do think it's a really nice bronzer. Up next, I have this Sweed bronzing powder. I'm doing a full face of Sweed. I'm working on that. So I have the bronzer. I do just want to include it. Sweed is not considered luxury, but this is a $45 bronzer. You get 0.35 ounces. There are 2 shades in the lineup. I have the lightest. It's quite warm. So that is the shade right there. That is the bronzer swatched under the Anastasia. Like, you can see how much more orange that one is to the other two that we've tried so far. This one does have a slight sheen to it that is a little bit different than most of these. I'll mention the ones that have a sheen. Okay, so that is the Sweed bronzer on the face. This is, of course, nothing. This is the Sweed bronzer. You can see this one is much warmer. I am far more warm than I am cool, but I'm more green than I am orange, if that makes sense. I don't have an issue with this color bronzer. I think it's really quite beautiful, quite flattering in the summer. I love the sheen that it provides. It is not glittery though. It has like just the slightest glow, but no glitter, no visible sparkles or shimmers on the skin. It wears really well. It does have a mirror in there, and you know, it's pretty to look at, but it feels very lightweight. This is not a luxury bronzer, but it is quite expensive, and I had it, so I wanted to include it. Now we're into luxury, like what is actually considered in the luxury category. I mean, luxury is a subjective term, but here we go. Moving on to the Dolce & Gabbana Face and Eyes Match. This is $57. You get 0.49 ounces, and it comes in 6 shades. I have the lightest shade. It is called Light. So that is the shade Light on the skin. This is a very, very creamy powder. It feels very luxurious. Doesn't feel like a powder when you touch it or when you rub it between your fingers. It almost feels like a hybrid formula. And the packaging is gorgeous. Feels very heavy. This feels luxury. This is the least expensive luxury bronzer in the lineup. You get a ton of product. You get 0.49 ounces, and it is versatile. You can, I mean, all bronzers you can use on your eyes. This is formulated to be safe on the eyes. I think it's an excellent bronzer. It's like a golden shade. It almost doesn't want to show up on my hand. Now, keep in mind, this is my dark hand. It's a very soft, neutral, warm neutral shade. Like, it's very lightly pigmented. This formula is super easy to work with. It's one of the lighter bronzers that I have. So like this for me in winter is going to be just like perfect. I mean, you can still see, like, it works in the summer. I'm clearly bronzed. I feel like in the winter, I'm really going to be drawn to this one because it is so light. It's gorgeous. The formula is beautiful. It lasts so well on the skin. I have not a single bad thing to say about this formula. I really, really like it. I'm surprised more people don't talk about it because it's lovely. And the price for a luxury product is reasonable in my opinion, especially when you consider how much you get in here. This is effortless luxury for sure. Next up is the Armani Luminous Silk Bronzing Powder. I have mine in the shade 90 Golden Sun Rays. This is $59. You get 0.63 ounces. You get a lot of product in here, and this is a huge pan of product. That's the Armani bronzer. Now, so I have mixed feelings on this bronzer because I do think that the shade is incredibly unique. Out of all of the bronzers that are here in front of me, none of them are this tone. This has like almost a slight touch of green to it. It is the most green of any of these. So if you have olive skin, I think that this would be very at home. It's still a bronzer. It's still warm, but it has just a hint of green to it that makes it, in my opinion, very olive skin friendly. You get a ton of product in here, and it is very reasonably priced. It is manufactured in China. I believe it's the only one of these that is. I just want to point that out. However, I do like the formula. It is quite a creamy bronzer. It's got a little green, you know, comparatively. Just a touch, you know what I mean? Just a hint. Now, the things that I don't like about this one, it has glitter in it. It's not something that I think like right now at a normal talking distance you could see. When I look at it in my 10 times magnification mirror, I can see glitter particles. Not my favorite, but it does sit really beautifully on the skin. It is a comfortable formula. It's very easy to blend out. And like I said, the shade is unique. I think it's a nice bronzer. It's not my favorite bronzer, but I do actually really like it. Up next, we have the Guerlain Terracotta Light Bronzer. I have mine in the shade Light Cool. This is $60 and you get 0.3 ounces of product. There are 6 shades in the lineup. This is kind of a unique formula in that it has like all of these different shades and all of these different textures, and you mix it together and it gives you something sun-kissed and beautiful and glowy on the skin. It is glowy, but not shimmery or shiny. Now, the powder itself on this feels like a powder. It's not like one of those cream to powder, creamy powder formulas. It feels like a powder. But what it does on the skin is gorgeous. This is a really lovely bronzer. Here's a swatch of that shade. That is Light Cool with all of them. It's like a light peachy bronzer. To see the contrast between the Armani and the Guerlain is crazy to me, because this, you can see how warm by comparison this one is to the kind of greeny gold Armani. This is an exceptionally nice bronzer on the skin. I will say the packaging does not feel luxury. When I first purchased this, I was quite disappointed in the way that it felt. It looks luxury. I think it looks really pretty. It just doesn't feel luxury. Despite the shimmer in it, I don't see any visible sparkles or anything on my face. It doesn't enhance texture. It just makes you look sun-kissed. It's a beautiful formula. It does have a scent. My skin's getting mad at me, but that's okay, because I think we're, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we're not even halfway through. That's okay though, because we've got a good one coming up, and that is the Givenchy bronzer. Now, I don't even think this is out in the US yet. This is the Givenchy Prisme Libre bronzing powder. This comes in 3 shades. You get 0.24 ounces. Now, I love this packaging. It's, I mean, obviously it's plastic, but it does have a mirror in here, and it comes with this little brush, which I actually find useful. I think it's a really, really soft, very nice brush. And this is the powder. Now, mine looks messy because I've swatched it and, you know, rubbed my fingers in there and moved them all around. Okay, so that is the Givenchy bronzer on the face. Now, it's kind of hard for me to only do one side of my forehead. Like, I want to blend it all over. So if anything looks patchy or splotchy, that's my fault and not the bronzer. This is one of the smoothest, most blurring, lightweight bronzers out of all of these. It's really nice. You actually do get a division of color. These top 2 shades are quite warm and the bottom 2 shades are quite cool. This one down here in the corner does have some sheen, just a slight bit of sheen. It doesn't look shimmery or shiny on the skin. It just makes it look like skin. It's really pretty. Now, the thing with these is, like, when are they coming to the US? We don't know. Wow, you can really see how neutral. You know, it's funny because I've used this on my channel before, and what I said about it is that it's like a beautiful neutral brown. It's not super cool, it's not super warm, especially when you combine all of those shades. And you can really see here, in comparison to all of the others, how neutral it actually is. So this is the Givenchy, and you can see everything else here on my hand is leaning a little warm, a little golden, a little orange, a little green, you know, whatever. This one is just like brown. It's just like neutral brown. It almost looks quite cool tone by comparison. It's gorgeous. It does have a scent. It's not an offensive scent, and it's not super overpowering. Like, I can smell it when I open it, but I can't smell it now that it's on my face, and I can't smell it on my hand, like even smelling the swatch. When I smell my hand, all I smell is the Guerlain. I can smell that. I like that smell, but that's the overwhelming scent here. So this is a gorgeous pick. If you are looking for a truly neutral tone, even when you're looking at the very, very light tone of the Dolce & Gabbana, this is more brown and neutral. neutral. Next up, we've got the Dior Forever Nude Jumbo Bronzer. There are 4 shades in this range. You get 0.6 ounces and the price is $62. This is an excellent value for the price. And the packaging is absolutely beautiful. I love it so much. It's got the actual cushion, kind of similar to the YSL. I have mine in the shade 10 Soft Matte. That is the Dior bronzer on the skin. This is a very warm bronzer. This is the lightest shade. It's got quite a bit of punch to it. Definitely has a scent. If you know Dior, you know it's going to be scented. This scent doesn't bother me. I don't like the scent of a lot of Dior products, but this one, for some reason, I like the way that this bronzer smells. Just be aware it is fragrance. This sits absolutely beautifully on the skin. This powder is so incredibly soft and lightweight. It reminds me a lot of the Hermes, which we will get into. So this is the Dior. It's swatched next to the Dolce & Gabbana. As you can see, it is warmer. However, it's quite a bit softer. I'm surprised because on my face it looks more pigmented, but swatched it looks softer than a lot of the other ones. That just goes to show that you really can't judge by a swatch. I'm only swatching them to show you how they compare against each other, not how really they perform on the skin, just so you can see the difference in tones. I love this bronzer. This is a very high quality bronzer. In my opinion, it's a very high quality powder formula. The only downside to this is going to be, you know, it's warm. I don't think that there's a cool tone option. I mean, this is the lightest shade. If you are super fair and you don't like a warm bronzer, you probably won't like this one. It's not as warm as some other options. You know what I mean? It's cooler than many. I think it's an incredibly high quality bronzer. When I touch all of these formulas, sometimes they feel similar to something else. This feels similar to the Hermes to me, just that really fine milled, soft, silky powder. Moving on to what is probably the lightest bronzer in this lineup, that is the YSL All Hours Hyper Bronzer. I have mine in the shade 1 Light Sepia. There are 5 shades in the lineup. This is $65 and you get 0.26 ounces. The packaging is gorgeous. It's very thick. It's quite bulky for how much product is in here. It doesn't have to be this big, but it's nice and it feels like a luxury item, so I'm okay with it. That is the YSL All Hours Hyper Bronzer. Like I said, this is the lightest bronzer that I have. It just looks like barely bronzed, which is a vibe. I like that look, and certainly in the winter, this will be an excellent product to have in my arsenal because sometimes you want a little bit of sculpting, a little bit of something, but you don't want to necessarily look tan, especially in the winter. This will give you just a little bit of something. The description of this bronzer several times mentions a sheen. There's just not a sheen. I've looked at it in all kinds of different lighting, 10 times magnification, there's no sheen. I'm not mad about it. It's just odd that it says that when there isn't one. There is that shade. I think you can kind of see it. I mean, it's so soft. It's such a soft color, but it's very yellow, very golden, very like peachy gold. This feels like a powder. Like this does not feel creamy. It's not my favorite because I'm not a super huge fan of the texture of the powder. It doesn't feel incredibly nice to me. There's something about this one that I don't love, and it is not the shade, because I do think that there is a place for a shade like this. I think of this shade much like I think of the Le Beige powder from Chanel, just a sheer touch of warmth. And this does that. And it's very smoothing, very blurring on the skin. This does not have a scent and it has a 24-month shelf life. On to one of my favorite bronzers of all time. This is the Gucci Sun-Kissed Glow Powder. I have mine in the shade 01 Fair. You get 0.42 ounces for $65. The shelf life on this is 24 months. This packaging is absolutely gorgeous. I think that that's a large part of why I like it so much. I just think that the packaging is elegant and beautiful. It's golden turquoise. I mean, you can't ask for much more. It does have a little compartment down here where you get a little brush. Now, this is refillable. I have found refills on Harrods. I'm very happy about that because it's such a beautiful compact. It does have a button here where it's clearly meant for a refill. So I'm happy that those are finally starting to be available. There are 5 shades in this range. That is the Gucci on the face. Now, what makes this so different to me is the tone. It is a beautiful rosy tone. It's not quite as rosy as the Fara Homidi, which we will get into, but it does have a hint of pinkish red to it that makes it just look like sun-kissed skin. It's an incredibly finely milled powder. It blends out so easily. It's pigmented, but it's easy to blend. So even though it packs a lot of punch, you can blend it out and work with it, and it's not going to look patchy. You know, and keep in mind, I have removed and put back on my foundation 10 times so far. This bronzer looks super smooth, super beautiful. It is one of my favorites. So wow, seeing them all here is interesting even for me, because even though I have worn them all and swatched them all, I haven't swatched them all side by side. Here is the Gucci, and it's next to the YSL. You can see out of all of those how warm that one is. Hopefully. I mean, how rosy that one is. That one looks almost like a blush by comparison. This is a bronzer that you could almost, or not almost, that you could wear as a blush. Up next is another one of my all-time favorite bronzers. It is the Victoria Beckham Matte Bronzing Brick. This comes in 4 shades. It is $72 for 0.34 ounces. It has a 12-month shelf life, and it is refillable. The refills are readily available at Victoria Beckham, Nordstrom, Violet Grey. You can find these at a lot of retailers. The compact is absolutely gorgeous. It's heavy. It feels luxurious. The entire experience of ordering from Victoria Beckham is luxury. That is one thing that I truly appreciate from the brand. Okay, so this is the matte bronzing brick with just this deeper shade, just kind of everywhere. What I like to do though is take this lighter shade and kind of blend around it just to soften it up and make it blend in with the rest of my skin. In the winter, when my skin is at its palest, I use this one as a bronzer only. This powder feels very creamy. It's such a gorgeous texture. I think her matte bronzing bricks are fantastic. There's a lot from Victoria Beckham that I'm like kind of on the fence, like, is it worth it? Is it not? These, I think, are 100% worth it. And down here is the Victoria Beckham Matte Bronzing Brick. This is the deeper shade. This is the lighter shade. I don't think they're similar to anything else that I have swatched so far. So here are those shades. This is the deeper shade in the Victoria Beckham, and then this is the lighter shade. It's kind of hard to see. I love that you have 2 tones, so you can adapt this to your skin tone year round. Maybe this and the eyeliners are like the 2 things that I'm like, yeah, those are absolutely worth the money. I love them. We are in the home stretch. We've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we got 6. Anyway, next is the Tom Ford Soleil Glow Bronzer. This comes in only 2 shades. It is $75 and you get 0.28 ounces. Okay, so that is Tom Ford Terra. Let me just talk about the packaging of this. This is such disappointing packaging for me. I don't know. I just feel like if you're a luxury brand and you're charging as much as you are, make it weighty or something. Just make it feel a little nicer. I don't know. I am not impressed by this packaging whatsoever. I think that this is probably the least impressive packaging of the lineup. in the luxury category. This is $75. $75. So I just expected more. It's also kind of fussy to open. It's got these little, I mean, see, I'm struggling now. It's got the little, almost you just kind of twist your fingers to open. That's not my favorite. I wish it were a different mechanism because the packaging frustrates me. I don't reach for this as much as I probably would or should. However, look at the bronzer. It's so pretty. This is such a pretty shade. It's another one that I feel has just a touch of, you know, some rosiness. I think the Tom Ford is the darkest bronzer in this lineup, and it is pretty intense. It's one that I kind of have to be careful with or it can go overboard. What it does on the skin is absolutely beautiful. It has no detectable sheen or shimmer. It's a very finely milled powder. It doesn't feel like a cream. It's not one of those powders that feels creamy between the fingers, but it also doesn't feel dry. It doesn't feel like a baked dry formula. It's a very finely milled powder. The tone is gorgeous. It blends out beautifully on the skin. It's not one that is super like mattifying and blurring. You can see my pores a little more with this one than a lot of the other ones, but I think that that's kind of its charm, is that it is incredibly skin-like. No complaints about that formula. I just wish it were packaged better. Up next is the Westman Atelier Beauty Butter Powder Bronzer. This comes in 3 shades. I have mine in the shade Coup de Soleil. This is the lightest shade. This is $75 for 0.28 ounces. This is refillable. Every time I put this bronzer on, I am reminded how much I love it. It is a bronzer that I've had for so long that I take for granted or don't really reach for. And then I put it on and I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful bronzer. My hair has powder in it. If you're seeing that it's looking gray right here, it's just from all the bronzer powder and the wiping all my makeup, and it's a whole thing. But anyway, it's gorgeous. It is one of the best bronzer formulas, in my opinion, that I've ever used. I absolutely love this formula. It's so easy to blend out. It's so natural looking on the skin. It's just, this is also what I would call like effortless luxury bronzer. So that is the shade right here. It's a bronze, but it's not like orangey. You know what I mean? It almost looks to have a touch of green by comparison. It's not something that I ever really noticed. It does kind of look to have a green, but I don't know. It's not super warm, I guess. It's not orangey. It's not red. It's like, you know, it's brown. It looks like skin. I can't say enough good things about it. The packaging, gorgeous packaging, very heavy, very luxurious. It feels like a $75 bronzer. It really does. And you do get quite a bit of product in here. Even though the compact is really tiny, you do get 0.28 ounces. So no complaints. I cannot think of a single negative thing to say about the Westman Atelier bronzer, except like almost everything, I wish it were less expensive. That's it. That's all I can say. Next, we have the Fara Homidi bronzer. This is $78 for 0.12 ounces. This is by far the most expensive bronzer in the lineup when you consider how little product you get in here compared to the price. This is a refillable product. You can pop the refill out. I'm afraid to do it because I don't want to drop it and shatter it because I've already done that once. This comes in 4 shades and the shelf life is 18 months. I will say that I agree with the claims. Like, I think this is a unique bronzer. I think it's a unique texture. I think that they are a unique shade. It is not like anything else that I have here in front of me today. It has a sheen to it. It has some reflectivity. I've heard some people say that they feel like it looks patchy. I feel like it can on camera in certain lighting because you're catching the light in at certain angles and you're not at others. I totally get that. And it is quite a pigmented formula. You do have to be careful with it. My skin is going through it right now. Like, it's burning from taking off my makeup and putting it back on. If you're noticing any patchiness now, it's probably likely due to skin irritation, due to me maybe not applying my foundation in as even a layer, because I've done it, I don't know, 11 or 12 times by now. So it might not be the most flawless application. However, I have used this bronzer in several videos and it is undoubtedly gorgeous. It really is. I am only speaking for the shade that I have, which is, by the way, Bois, the lightest shade. I have not tried any of the other shades. I cannot speak to their performance or the shades or anything. I'm just referencing this particular shade on my skin. Is unlike anything that I have ever tried, and I absolutely love it. It is one of my favorite bronzers of all time. The powder does feel creamy. It's very finely milled. When you rub your finger in the pan, it doesn't feel creamy. It almost feels gritty. But then when you rub your fingers together, it is very creamy. You can just see how different that is to everything else on my hand. It almost looks gray. Very, very versatile formula. I will 100% use this up and repurchase it. I like it that much. I think it's fantastic. Makeup removal moment 14. You can see how red my skin is under there. It's very angry. Up next is the Hermes bronzer. This is the Hermes H Trio Healthy Glow Powder. I have mine in the shade 02 Atlas. This is $111 for 0.63 ounces. Surprisingly, this is not as expensive, not even close to as expensive as the Fara Homidi. This is refillable. The refills are readily available on several different websites. That is the Hermes Plein Air Trio in the shade 02 Atlas. This is probably one of the most beautiful powders I have ever put on my face. The way that the powder feels, it doesn't feel like a cream, but it feels like the most ultra fine, like soft, silky powder. This is one of those products, I know you've all been there, where you put a product on your face and you're like, wow, there is something that is different. There's something that is a standout, something that impresses you so much that's different to anything that you've tried before. When I first put this powder on my skin, I was just like, oh my God, this is it. This is the bronzer. This is the best bronzer I have ever put on my face. I absolutely love it. It is such a delicate, lightweight, blurring, soft, silky powder. Provided they have a shade that you like, I can't imagine being disappointed in the formula because it is so silky smooth. Now, it says it's an H trio. This one in particular, I really don't see much difference in the H. Like, I'm not getting 3 distinct shades. I don't care though, because I like the shade that it is. That is the Hermes there. It like almost looks like it has a touch of green, but to me it's like a golden bronze. It's a unique shade. It's a unique formula. It just gives you an airbrush finish. It's a beautiful bronzer. Very, very happy with this. I mean, I've mentioned it in my luxury products that perform. I've touched on this in several videos because I do think it is that good. I know it's crazy expensive. Unfortunately, it's, in my opinion, worth the price. Lastly, the Sisley bronzer. This comes in one shade. It is $150 and you get 0.38 ounces. The packaging on this is incredibly lightweight. It does not feel like a $150 bronzer. In fact, pretty disappointed in the packaging on this bronzer. I just feel like for the price, we could have done more here to make it feel like a luxury experience. It does not feel luxury to me. It doesn't look luxury. It doesn't feel luxury. It has no scent, so that's nice. And it looks beautiful in the pan. It feels kind of like a baked formula, like a baked gelée. That is the Sisley bronzer on the skin. It is quite glowy. It is the glowiest of all of these bronzers. It looks very natural though. There's no shimmers or sparkles that I can detect. It just gives you a beautiful glow. As you can see, this is a very warm bronzer and there is only one shade. So this is going to work for a very select group of people. I like it. I'm okay with it. I am somebody that is okay with really warm bronzers, but I know that a lot of people aren't. So I do just want to make you aware that there's one tone and it's orange. Here is the Sisley bronzer swatch. It's quite a warm shade. It's like a bronzy gold. It's not the warmest, but it's pretty warm. It's a gorgeous formula. I mean, the formula is so incredibly nice. It really does just glide on over the skin and looks like glowy, healthy skin. I wish that there were more shades because it's so pretty. I love what it does for the skin. I love how the powder interacts with the skin. It comes just in a box. Nothing about the experience is luxurious to me with Sisley. And that is probably my problem with the brand. I'm going to do a whole face of Sisley where I have enough makeup for a full face where I will touch on that more. But the bronzer itself, what is in the packaging is undoubtedly beautiful. It really is a really, really pretty formula. Again, it's very glowy. It's very warm. If you don't want warm or glowy and you are not like light enough for this to work on you, then it's an easy skip. Okay, so we have one more that I want to touch on. And the reason why I didn't like add it to the lineup is because it's part of Aquat. It's the Hourglass bronzer in Diffused Bronze Light. This is a very popular bronzer color. So I do just want to try it on and kind of show you. That's Diffused Bronze Light. So that is Diffused Bronze Light on the face. It's a beautiful bronzer shade, and I just wanted to show it here. Mine, of course, is in my little custom-made Hourglass palette, but you can get a single of this. It's got just a hint of rosiness to it. It's an Hourglass powder, so it has that beautiful kind of reflective sheen. I'm just going to do both cheeks. My skin is screaming at me. It is not happy with me. So I hope that that was helpful. Let's talk about my top three. We're going to start with the Givenchy. I absolutely love this. I couldn't not include because of that tone, because of that true brown neutral tone. It's not like a muddy brown. It's not like a gray brown. It's like a true neutral brown tone that is just unique to my collection. I had to include it. I also really like that you get a mix of warm and cool tones, and you can actually delineate between them. You could go for a more cool tone look. You could use this as a contour shade. This is a very versatile little bronzer. You can even use different tones for eyeshadows. Next up is going to be the Westman Atelier. I love this. It can do no wrong to me. It's just a beautiful powder that you can't mess up. It's stunning on the skin. I love it so much, so I had to mention this. I'm going to go with Gucci for the number 3 spot, the Gucci bronzer. I just love this so much. This is a bronzer that I have actually used up, completely used up and repurchased because I like it so much. It's just a beautiful, unique tone. The formula is beautiful. The packaging feels luxurious. It's lightweight, but it still gives luxury because of the design. It's a great bronzer. The Fara Homidi is unique. The texture is something unique. The finish is unique. The shade is unique. Everything about it is different to anything that I have. I like it so much. It is something that you have to be careful with because it is pigmented. It does have a sheen. It might not be the easiest formula to work with, but there's no denying that what it does on the skin is different and beautiful. This is one of my favorite releases of the year, to be honest. And then the Hermes bronzer. I don't know what it is about this that I like so much. I do truly love the tone. I think that the tone is really, really beautiful. The texture, the powder, the finish on the skin, just the experience of using it. It's such a beautiful product. I know it's expensive, but it's less than the Fara Homidi considering how much you get. You get 0.63 ounces in here and you get 0.12 in here. And this is 78 and this is 111. You get easily 5 times the amount of product in here, and it's just a beautiful formula on the skin. This is like a soft matte and this is a glowy, and I just think that they're different. This is a true bronzer. This is like a sun-kissed look, right? This kind of almost gives just a touch of sunburn, and this gives a touch of a suntan. And then the Gucci would be like a combination of these two, you know, a touch of a sunburn, a touch of a suntan. There you have it. There are my thoughts on 17 bronzers, most of them being LuXuRy. I believe I got all of the LuXuRy bronzers. I know that Clé de Peau was missing. I didn't include Chanel because there isn't anything that's named a bronzer. I know they have the Healthy Glow powders, but I was just looking for bronzers. So anyway, I am off to put a mask on my face and try to preserve my skin barrier. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you soon in another one. And until then, please take care of yourselves. Bye.